The NFL is all about to converge in Indianapolis for an entire week of the NFL Combine. But before the Denver Broncos can answer who they're going to be targeting in this draft and what positions we need, the multi-million-dollar mega question on all of our minds is what is going to happen with that Russell Wilson contract. I was excited to break down the Combine, what I was excited about watching, and that's going to come later on in this week. But just as I came on to film this, I saw that Russell Wilson appeared on a new video podcast. It's like a vodcast, if you will, with our boy B. Marsh, Brandon Marshall. It's called I Am Athlete. We're going to break down question by question of the trailer, and then I'll link to the full one in the show notes. That comes out tonight in just an hour or so after I drop this video. But I can't wait to hear how this interview hits y'all. I'm trying not to be too salty. I've considered myself a Russell Wilson dude. Like most of my post-game reaction videos were in my Russell Wilson jersey, but now I'm starting to feel like one of those bitter Seattle fans who I'm like rubbed the wrong way, and maybe I'm reading this all wrong, and I'll feel differently when I read some of y'all comments. But tell me, how do some of these hit you? So let's dive in. We're going to go through this. We see Russell Wilson rocking his new haircut. Is that haircut a statement that like, hey, he's a new person, he's a different dude? We've seen that Sean Payton's original thing when he came in was that he wanted us all to be more anonymous donors in Denver. So meaning he wanted less talk about the work and more work. And so we've seen Russell Wilson under Sean Payton, his level of tweeting and Instagramming and all that stuff had just dropped precipitously. And we've seen since his benching back to the old Russell Wilson. We're seeing workout videos, we're seeing hype videos, we're seeing a lot of the kind of stuff that we saw the first year under Nathaniel Hackett when we had like the let's ride stuff and all of that. But even just the fact that Russell Wilson agreed to appear on this and has been more vocal, having press conferences at his locker and all of that, to me is showing like just a kind of that line in the sand with Sean Payton that like he's not here anymore no matter what he says in this interview. But let's dive in. So the first question B. Marsh asks him is, you're 35 now. Do you still like want this? And here is his response.
I got more fire than ever, honestly, especially over the past 2 years of what I've gone through.
I have more fire than ever after the last 2 years, especially for what I've gone through. How does that line land with you? What I've gone through, I have in my mind that like just doesn't sit real well. Like we gave you the keys to the castle, dude. Like you walked around, you had an office in here, you brought your own staff in here who broke down film. Like you had your own coaches on the sideline with you who you really could do whatever you wanted. We went out and built like an amazing offensive line for you. So to come in and have like that victim mentality of what I've gone through, you became one of the highest paid players in the league at your position. And, really Nathaniel Hackett did whatever you wanted to, played like you wanted to. We've heard the Russell Wilson, like, let him cook. We let you cook last year and it was bad. And, we gave up the farm to get you. So I'm curious what exactly he means by like what I've gone through. Cause I think it's been just as hard on all of us Broncos fans who, really like threw a parade when we got you. I don't know if I've been that hyped in a long, long, long time and was so excited for what our future would be with you. So I'm curious what you've gone through the past 2 years, why that gives you more of a fire. But maybe I'm reading too much into that line.
Denver or somewhere else. I hope it's in Denver.
Okay, so whether it's in Denver or somewhere else, I hope it's in Denver. I think the fact that your house is for sale and you haven't come out and like said that, I think the fact that you held a press conference that the Broncos didn't want you to hold, right? If the Broncos want someone to do a press conference and to talk to the media, they set that up where you're like up at a table and they ask you questions and all that, but the Broncos didn't do that. Instead, they can't stop you from talking at your locker, but it was kind of a impromptu thing that was not Denver Broncos sanctioned. So I think the fact that you kind of threw Sean Payton and George Payton under the bus and said, aired out all that laundry about the Denver Broncos asking you to restructure your contract and to take money off, which there's a little discrepancy there between what George Payton says they had you do and what you said they had you do. So I'm not sure exactly if that statement, I hope it's in Denver, is true. Like if you hoped it was in Denver, I don't think you blast the team in that press conference, and I don't think you put your house for sale. And I don't think you hop on this video with B Marsh when you know that Sean Payton wants anonymous donors, right? We'll keep watching. Again, I don't want to be bitter. Bitter content's never fun to watch. I'm just trying to react in the moment to all this kind of stuff.
I hope I get to finish there. I committed there. I wanted to be there. I want to be there. For me, it's about winning.
Again, for me, it's about winning. I think if it was about winning, we've seen with the current skill set that you have at 35, the best way probably to win is for the Denver Broncos to be able to build just insane talent around you, like we've seen with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers and what they did with Brock Purdy, like bring in a Christian McCaffrey, an Ayuk, a Kittle. But because you are paid so highly, like we can't build a team around you to win. So the thing about that makes me a little frustrated is now there are other rumors coming from people connected to Wilson. And that is right here that Russell Wilson is considering playing on a vet minimum for another team. So essentially, yeah, Russell Wilson is about winning. Another team will have all the salary flexibility to build a great team around him, but the Denver Broncos are going to be left holding the paycheck paying him. So that does not feel great as a Denver Broncos fan that like, hey, if you want to be about winning, come win at the team that's paying you, the team that we all were more excited than we've been since we signed Peyton Manning to have you. And we thought, man, you're going to win 2 Super Bowls here in Denver. Like you're getting us back to the mountaintop. And instead we've been so hamstrung by the contract that we've had to pay you that we don't have the free agency money to go out and get other players. So I feel like that's a little disingenuous for him to be like, for me, it's all about winning. If that was the case, like that is the case with someone like a Tom Brady. It was all about winning, and he kicked his cans and guarantees down the road so that they could bring in Randy Moss, bring in insane talents. And even though he's probably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, he never was paid like that and gave the team the financial flexibility to go out and be about winning.
Over the next 5 years, I want to win 2.
Over the next 5 years, I want to win 2. That's great. I don't think that definitely the Denver Broncos are not going to be able to win 2 Super Bowls paying Russell Wilson as a top 10 quarterback unless he's performing like a top 10 quarterback. So that doesn't feel super genuine to me. It feels a little off.
I want to feel the chill of that trophy again.
I guess the trophy feels chill. Makes sense. It's metal. That one checks out. That definitely checks out.
I love the city and everything else, but you also want to be a place that wants you too. So,
and again, I don't think any of us don't want Russell Wilson. We just don't want a Russell Wilson who we're paying like a Patrick Mahomes. And so I don't think this is about Denver not wanting you and Russell Wilson being able to play like a victim card. He's not a victim. That we made him one of the top paid players. We gave him the keys to the castle. His family could walk in and just have the lay of the land and do whatever. He had his own private office and things that a quarterback has never had in this city, even with Peyton Manning. And so I don't think that Denver doesn't want him. They just don't want him giving him Patrick Mahomes money when he's not playing like it. So I don't want to be I definitely do not want to be bitter about this, but it seems as if the roads between the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson are certainly converging. My guess is that a cut is in order. He's on his way out. The 2 options the Denver Broncos have is really, are we going to take all $85 million on this year's books, or are we going to spread that over the next 2 years, whether that's 53 this year, 32 next, or 35 this year, 49 next. So that really is the next steps, and we are I'm looking forward to watching that entire interview that, again, drops after this. I'll link to it in the show notes. Curious to you, Broncos fans, as you watch that, how does that interview with Russell Wilson and Brandon Marshall land with you? Do you think Russ is back? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. And Broncos country, let's giddy up. Oh, that one felt so good. My ceiling's in here. I think I got fouled on that shot. I just got fouled.